1996, the beginning, when MLS had ugly jerseys, countdown clocks, shootouts, and only 10 teams. One of the 10 cities awarded a franchise in that inaugural season was Tampa Bay, which, if you look at the old NASL days with the Tampa Bay Rowdies, this seemed like a slam dunk. The Rowdies were successful both on and off the field, regularly making the playoffs, and even winning a soccer ball in their first season in 1975. Their attendance was also near the top most seasons, with their highest average coming in 1980, when they averaged more than 28,000 fans a game. And for perspective, averaging 28,000 fans, that'd be the third highest attendance in MLS in 2018. Not too bad. Although you do gotta remember most teams now play in soccer-specific stadiums that hold under 25,000. But fast forward, NASL is done, MLS is here, and the Tampa Bay Mutiny have been born. Now, a lot of people really didn't like the Mutiny name, but hey, I'll go on record by saying I think it's awesome. Mutiny. And that's just fun to say. And plus, it kind of goes along with the pirate theme they've already got going on with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so yeah, Mutiny, I'm on board with that. Even the colors, I love them too. Like this blue and light blue striped jersey, I mean, that's sharp. As soon as someone wants to sell it for less than $150 on eBay, I'm totally buying it. But, okay, that actually wasn't their original colors. In 1996, they were this weird green color. If you show someone that doesn't know the history of the league and that doesn't know any better, they'd probably think this was like an old picture of the Seattle Sounders. Definitely prefer the two-tone blue. And the crests, well, okay, I'm not exactly a fan of that. I mean, seriously, what is this thing? At least I can take solace in knowing I'm not the only one confused by what I'm looking at. I found an excerpt in an old Sports Illustrated article between former DC United president Kevin Payne and the first coach for Tampa Bay, Thomas Rongen. I think it pretty much summarizes what everyone's thinking. Payne, I told them, I don't get this mutiny. What's with the symbol? They said, oh, it's a mutant bat. Okay, what does that have to do with mutiny? You know, mutiny, mutant. I said those are two different words with completely different meanings. They just share some letters. What are you doing? Rongen, what the fire truck? A mutant bat? What are we representing? Nike must have had a few guys smoking dope coming up with the craziest things. Yeah, if your own head coach can't even figure out what the symbol is supposed to mean, that's usually a bad sign. I have no idea if this logo had anything to do with the downfall of Tampa Bay soccer, but I'd like to think it had a little bit to do with it. But hey, ugly crest aside, the team, they still succeeded on the pitch. In the inaugural MLS season, the Tampa Bay Mutiny had the most points in the league and won the Supporters' Shield. Roy Lassiter was a beast, scoring 27 goals. Not only winning the Golden Boot that year, but that would be the most goals anyone would score for the first 22 seasons of the league's existence. Until, well, this guy broke it. Carlos Valderrama, maybe the first true international superstar in the league, dished out 26 assists. Also a record, and a record I don't see being broken anytime soon. As in, like, not in my lifetime. Tampa Bay would advance to the Eastern Conference Final, where they would fall to eventual champion DC United. And although the Mutiny never made it this far again in their brief history, they still made the playoffs 3 other times, and also made runs into the quarterfinal in the US Open Cup 4 different times. Okay, so remember when I said Tampa succeeded on the pitch? Well, off the pitch, they weren't as successful. The Mutiny were constantly near the bottom of attendance, never actually being last, but it was still an issue. In 1998, the Chicago Fire and Miami Fusion entered the league, and the Mutiny lost 10 players to the dispersal draft. Yeah, expansion drafts nowadays, this would never happen, because you can have one player taken from your team, and that's it. Tampa Bay, they got royally screwed, and worst of all, they lost Carlos Valderrama. I mean, Valderrama wasn't just the centerpiece on the field. He and his blonde afro were the image of the team. He was the face of the franchise. And now, he was moving to the team right down the road. And on top of all of that, the Mutiny had a terrible stadium deal. You see, in 1999, the Mutiny moved into the brand new Raymond James Stadium. And okay, playing in a football stadium, it's not ideal. And I know Atlanta and Seattle, they make it work. And even New England, it's not that bad. I mean, I'm sure everyone would agree that a soccer stadium in Boston would be preferred. But it's not that bad because at least they don't have to pay rent. Yeah, so Robert Kraft owns both the Patriots and the Revolution. And obviously, he's not going to charge his own team to play in his own stadium. But the Mutiny, they didn't have an owner. They were operated by the league itself, along with Dallas and San Jose. But while Dallas and San Jose eventually got new owners, Tampa Bay didn't. Now, they did approach the Glazer family, the owners of the Tampa Bay Bucs, to see if they wanted to purchase the team, but they weren't interested. Oh yeah, and the team's first president, Mark Fortinet, was arrested for stealing more than $100,000 from the Mutiny, so there were definitely more issues than just low attendance and no owners. There were a few potential owners that wanted to buy the team, but ultimately, a deal never materialized. There were also rumors that the team was going to relocate to Rochester, New York, which would have been the first relocation in MLS history, but that fell through as well. A decision needed to be made, and the Tampa Bay Mutiny were losing the league money. And because of that, they folded on January 8th, 2002. January 8th? That's just a few months before the regular season is supposed to kick off. I'm guessing a lot of players who were on Tampa Bay probably thought they were at least going to be playing in the 2002 season. And here's the worst part. Apparently, some of the players, including Steve Ralston, found out the team had folded after an unofficial team workout. I mean, can you imagine that? Getting done with practicing, only to come home to find out that the team you play for no longer exists. And that in a few months, you're going to be dispersed into a random team in the league, a random city, which you have no control over. That's brutal. Okay, in all honesty, I love the fact that MLS decided to create its own identity in the beginning, in that they didn't just rip the team names from the NASL. I love that MLS has its own brand and created new teams like the Galaxy, the Revolution, the Crew. I think it's important that they did that in the beginning. But if there's one market that could have benefited the most from having the NASL brand in 1996, it's the New York Cosmos. But the second market that would benefit the most, in my eyes, absolutely, is the Tampa Bay Rowdies. For whatever reason, the Mutiny just didn't resonate with fans like the Rowdies did. Now, having the Rowdies name doesn't solve the issues of having no real owner, but I'm sure it would have helped with the attendance a little bit. You know, a few years back, Tampa Bay was considered for a round of expansion teams, and I saw a lot of people commenting that Tampa Bay already had their shot. Why should we put them back in MLS? I think it's important to note that 2001 was a long time ago. I mean, if you look at a team like Atlanta, who have amazing fans, I mean, seriously, I'm super jealous of everything they've been able to accomplish down there. But if Atlanta came into the league in the beginning, do I think they'd be averaging 53,000 fans a game? No, I don't. And that's not a shot against Atlanta. I just think they came into MLS at the perfect time when the league was on the rise. Now, if Tampa Bay was awarded an expansion team, and they were known as the Rowdies, do I think they would only average 11,000 like they did in the 90s? Not a chance. In fact, I really think Tampa Bay could be a thriving soccer market like it was in the 70s and 80s. But unfortunately, I don't see Tampa being seriously considered anymore for expansion. But hey, with MLS getting bigger and bigger each and every year, perhaps that changes in the future? I mean, hey, they're already giving Miami a second shot at top flight soccer in this country. So why not give Tampa Bay another shot? And for the record, I'm all for it.